morning, guys, and welcome back. Today I'm bringing you another Flight Attendant 101 sit down with me. Today's video was actually inspired by one of my subscribers. His name is Peter Anderberg and he's in Sweden. Hi Peter, how are you? So as you guys may or may not know, there's a lot of videos out there in regards to flight attendants, and if you haven't noticed, they all have one thing in common, and that is the fact that you really don't see anything about what's going on in the plane. Now, that's for a very specific reason. Obviously, airlines don't allow any filming while there are passengers on board, and some airlines are more stricter than others, so you really only get a little snippet of what happens before and also what happens later. Some airlines, though, allow you to record what's going on in the galley. And so that's awesome because you guys can actually see how a galley is set up. What today's video is about is going to be to kind of take you step by step and let you know exactly what happens. Even though we can't film it, I'm going to let you guys in on what happens behind the scenes. First of all, let me start off by saying that every airline is different, which means that there are procedures that I may do at my airline and some people may not do at another airline. So this is just from my perspective. So the first thing you do when you get to the airport is you just report to your gate and let them know that you're there on time. And some airlines also assign you the position that you're going to be working that day. For me, we all choose according to seniority who wants to do what. So after everybody chooses what they want to be, you either go right to the plane and start pre-flighting your equipment, or you may get your captain's briefing before you go down onto the plane. Anything that's very vital and important, you are going to get a briefing from either your captain or your first officer. Now, depending on what position you are, every flight attendant has a particular area of the aircraft that you have to pre-flight. So your job is just to make sure that you know where you're supposed to be, what equipment you're supposed to be pre-flighting, and what you're supposed to have for that particular airplane. So once you pre-flight all your medical and emergency equipment, then pretty much you go on from there. Now, if you happen to be the galley person, then after your pre-flight, more than likely, you will then go ahead and start working your galley. And like I said, guys, every airline is different. Some galley work is, depending on the airline, more strenuous than others. So once your galley is prepped, and let me just say that some airlines do serve like hot beverages and stuff. So I know that, you have to start making coffee or tea and orange juice and getting all that stuff ready. So once the galley is done, then you will start boarding. Now, every flight attendant has a position and a place for you to be. And while you're boarding, you're just doing basic security screenings. You're looking at people. You're making sure that if you were the one by the emergency exits, that they are capable and able to operate the emergency exit door. You're also going to be assisting passengers that may need help with their luggages in the overhead bins. And that's pretty much it. So once everybody is on board, we get the cue from the boarding agent, the gate agent, and let us know everybody's on board. And at that point, you may need to do a head count manually of how many people are on board, just to make sure that it also is the same as what they have. And once the count has been verified and we know that their numbers match our numbers, Then the captains do all their paperwork, and pretty much they're just finalizing that. So as they're finalizing their paperwork, all we do is just stand there, continue helping people, and that's pretty much it. Now the lead flight attendant is usually the one that's doing the all the announcements. For my airline, I don't know if it's you know, a different position that does the announcements for any other airlines, but so the flight attendant will then, the lead flight attendant will then start making the announcement contain information as far as FAA regulations, FAR. Then we are going to then brief our emergency exit rows. So everybody has a briefing area that they have to do. So if it's my area, I will brief my customers on how to use the emergency exit row and make sure that they understand that, you know, sitting in those seats, even though you have the extra leg room, it does come at the expense of having to, they have to be willing and able to assist in the event of an emergency. So once everybody has been briefed, and the captains finish up all their paperwork, pretty much they close the door. You arm your doors just to make sure that in the event of an emergency, you have that slide that's going to deploy and it's going to save lives. And that's when you start getting paid, guys. So once that door closes, that's exactly when you start getting your flight time. Other than that, when the door is completely open or you're waiting in the terminal, for, let's say, any delays or anything like that, that's when you're getting paid your per diem. The cabin is secure, everybody's in their seats with their seatbelts like they should be. And that's when we do our the demonstration of the safety equipment. Some airlines have videos that they show, and they don't actually, the crew doesn't actually have to do the safety demo. And then after that, you're pretty much ready for takeoff. So you go and you sit in your jump seat, make sure you're all strapped, and blast off. All right, guys, so then once you're in the air, we do have an indication that, you know, when it is safe to get up, we'll get up, and depending on the duration of the flight, then we'll start service, and depending, like I said, on the duration, that determines how many services we do for that flight. Usually there's two carts, and so two flight attendants will start from the back of the airplane, two flight attendants will start in the beginning of the airplane, and then we just meet in the middle, and once we're in the middle and everybody's been served, then we can go and put all the stuff away. After that, guys, all we're doing is picking up trash, cleaning the labs just to make sure that everything's still nice and pretty in there for the customers. And that's about it. So like I said, depending on how many services you have to do, you do those services throughout. You keep the cabin clean, you keep the labs clean, and then after that, you know, the captains will let us know when we're approaching, and then we'll start taking steps to securing the cabin again, which means just making sure that everybody's in their seats. Everybody has their seatbelts, and the tray tables and all their carry-on stuff are stowed, or, you know, the tray table is nice and locked. And that is basically it. Once we're landing, you go back to your seats, you strap on yourself with your seatbelts, and you land. After that, then we unarm our doors, and then, you know, you get the okay to open the door, and the gate agent is right there waiting to assist the passengers, waiting with wheelchairs in case anybody needs any wheelchairs. And that is pretty much what we do on the airplane. So first, we pre-flight the equipment. You work the galley and fix your galley stuff if you need it. You start boarding. We brief our customers on the emergency exit rows. We take off. We do service. We clean labs and pick up trash from customers. Again, we land, and we unarm our doors again, and we deplane. that is pretty much our day in a nutshell. I hope this has been helpful to you. I know that unfortunately, until you're a flight attendant and you're living the flight attendant life, you're not going to know, you know, all these steps until you're actually doing it in real life. But it's really easy, guys. The toughest thing about being a flight attendant is first, getting the job, and second, passing through training. I want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in. If there are any flight attendant videos that you would like for me to make, or any topics that you would like for me to hit upon, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below, and I will see what I can do about that. Again, thank you to Peter for suggesting I make a video about what happens behind the scenes, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.